Canada scores in stoppage time to reach the World Cup last 16, and the question everyone's asking is, how far can the co-hosts go? In one of the most dramatic moments in Canadian soccer history, Steven Eustaquio buried a stoppage time winner at SoFi Stadium near Los Angeles, sending Canada past South Africa and into the round of 16. Final score, Canada 1, South Africa 0. And trust me, that scoreline does not do justice to how wild the finish was. Let's set the scene. For most of this match, Canada was doing everything right, pressing, fighting, creating chances, but nothing was going in. South Africa's goalkeeper Ronwen Williams was making save after save. Defenders Mbekezeli Mbokazi and Aubrey Modiba were throwing their bodies in front of everything. At one point, Mbokazi denied Jonathan David with an open goal, practically begging to be scored into. It was that kind of game. Then, in the 75th minute, Jesse Marsch finally sent on Alphonso Davies, Canada's biggest star, who hadn't played for the national team since March 2025 after picking up a hamstring injury on Bayern Munich duty. The crowd at SoFi Stadium went absolutely electric. And Davies, to his credit, made an immediate impact. He slipped a pass through to Jonathan David, whose shot was saved. He fired a line-breaking pass that nearly set up Promise David for a goal. Davies wasn't directly involved in the winner, but his introduction raised the intensity of Canada's attacks in those crucial closing stages. Then came stoppage time. Eustaquio let fly from distance. Brilliant strike. And Canada had done it. Now, this wasn't without controversy. Just before halftime, Richie Laryea burst into the South Africa box and went down under a challenge from Kaliso Mudo. Canada screamed for a penalty. The referee said no. VAR didn't intervene. Marsch was so furious that teammate Moise Bamito apparently had to physically hold his manager back from confronting the officials, presumably trying to save Marsch from a touchline ban. Analysts were split on the call. The Athletics refereeing expert, former Premier League official Graham Scott, said a penalty should have been given, noting that the defender made contact first with his knee. Former referee Christina Unkel agreed. But thankfully for Canada, it ended up not mattering. For South Africa, this is a heartbreaking exit. They were also competing in their first ever knockout tie at the World Cup. Their 74-year-old manager Hugo Bruce, the oldest coach ever to lead a team in the knockout stages of this tournament, had already suggested he might retire after the tournament. After this exit in added time, that may well prove to be the case. So what's next for Canada? They head to Houston, Texas, on Saturday, which happens to be the 4th of July, Independence Day in the United States, to face either the Netherlands or Morocco in the round of 16. Whoever they play will be considered a significant favorite going in. Look further down the bracket, and you've got France or Germany likely lurking in the quarterfinals, with Spain, Portugal, or Belgium potentially waiting in the semifinals. The path is steep. But here's the thing: Canada has already made history. They had never gotten out of the group stage at the Men's World Cup before this tournament. Now they're in the last 16. For a program that was overlooked and written off for generations, that is enormous. And there's something bigger at play here too. All three host nations, Canada, the United States, and Mexico, appear to have found another gear playing on home soil. Momentum is real in soccer, and Canada now has a lot of it. Whether it carries them deep into the tournament remains to be seen, but the eyes of the world are on this team, and Canadian soccer fans have every right to dream. For now though, soak it in, because Steven Eustaquio's stoppage time strike will live in Canadian sports history forever, and a nation that has waited a very long time for a moment like this has finally, gloriously, arrived. That's the story. Canada's in the last 16, and the dream is very much alive.